Is it on?
Yeah.
So
It's all fun and games until a hyena eats your chair. I should have known a hyena would be the one that just couldn't wait until the breakfast bar was open and had to go and eat some of the chairs in front of our tent. Having one of the most powerful jaws in the animal kingdom chomping away just feet from my head is something I will never forget. We were up early and watched as the wildlife around us started another day. I sped up the film here so you can also watch the sun come up. And then it's time to go. With the ground still wet, it made sense to look for tracks. And just as I noticed a hyena track, I looked up and saw who made it. We didn't have to drive to find the predators. It seemed that this one was coming right to us. It looked like it had a recent injury to its leg, but these animals are tough, and I would imagine after a day of rest, this hyena would be back to 100%. It's a tough life out there hunting for your food and protecting your territory. I watched with total respect for these animals that survive in this hard life out in the Serengeti. We made our way back to the area that we saw the leopard yesterday, and wouldn't you know it, it seemed the whole family was out today. The tree they were in was huge, and it made for the perfect location for these young cats to be up off the ground. It looked like Mom also had a good spot in a nearby tree. I felt so lucky again to be able to see these reclusive felines. My search for leopard was in overtime now. I was filming and taking as many photos as I could. While I was relaxing though, they took to the ground. And I found out how hard it is to spot leopards in the grass. But soon one appeared. You would have to have a sharp eye to be able to see this coming for you. A female like this could have a home range of 6 square miles. That is a lot of walking to do. It didn't seem like she was on the hunt. But this giraffe nearby was still keeping its eye on her. It seemed that all this leopard wanted was a new sleeping spot. Typical kitty. As we left to give some other Jeeps a chance to come in, we noticed our Jeep had a flat tire, so it was off to a visitor area where it could get fixed. This area had a lot of Hyrax running around. They seem very used to people, which isn't always a good thing. You never want to feed wild animals, as a healthy fear of people will keep them out of trouble. These Hyrax were all over, hanging out on the display animals, under the seating areas, and up in the trees. Hyrax are interesting little animals. After the manatees or sea cows, it is thought that these little mammals are the closest living relative to the elephant. As I was checking out the little teeth on this one sitting so close to me, I noticed it might be a while, so instead of filming Hyrax all day, me and the puddin' hit the trail around the center. A volunteer showed us some of the skull formations and bones. Keeper chats and educating people is one of the most rewarding aspects of us being zookeepers, so it was sure nice to switch and be the audience for a while. As the more information we can absorb here, the more we can bring to the people back home. And of course our eyes were always on the lookout for wildlife. Now speaking of zoos, the ecosystem of the Serengeti owes a lot to a former director of the Frankfurt Zoo in Germany. He helped with establishing more land and figure out the migration patterns of the wildebeest. Good zoos find ways to help wildlife. As a keeper, I owe a lot to these animals, so I hope it helps them some when I make these videos and tell people about animal conservation. While all this animal talk has made the puddin' thirsty, the Jeep was fixed, so it was time to leave our Hyrax friends and our little yellow bird friend here and hit the road again. We came upon a few Jeeps looking into the grass. They weren't looking for a leopard, but rather a smaller African cat called the serval. I got a quick glimpse of it here. And just past that, wouldn't you know it, another leopard in a faraway tree.
So out in that tree, those swinging legs and the tail, another leopard.
What a ride we were having. Thanks, Africa.
Hope you enjoyed this episode of Safari Tanzania. For more information on the items featured in this video, please read this video's description. And as always, thanks for watching.